Today we're talking about something really cool. A new AI called Claude, made by a company named Anthropic. They say Claude is super special because it's unbreakable. That means no one can find a way to trick it or make it do something it shouldn't. But here's the exciting part. Anthropic is so sure about this that they're offering $155,000 to anyone who can prove them wrong by jailbreaking Claude. That's a lot of money. So, what does it take to jailbreak an AI? Stick around and let's find out together. Part 1. What is AI jailbreaking? Alright, let's dive into something called AI jailbreaking. Imagine you have a super smart robot that follows strict rules so it doesn't do anything wrong or unsafe. But some people, called hackers, like to test these rules. They try to find sneaky ways to make the robot do things it's not supposed to do. This challenge between the hackers trying to break the rules and the developers who make the robot is what we call AI jailbreaking. Let's talk about some simpler AIs you might know, like ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, or Meta's Llama. These are all types of robots that talk to you and answer questions. In the past, hackers found clever ways to trick these talking robots. For example, there was a famous trick called the Dan method. Hackers would tell ChatGPT, "Dan or do anything now," making it think it was okay to break its own rules and say things it normally wouldn't. It's like telling your dog it's okay to play fetch in the house even though it's against the rules. Another trick was the grandma method, where hackers would ask the AI to act like a sweet old grandmother who just couldn't say no to anything they asked. These tricks showed that even though AIs are smart, they can still be fooled sometimes. Each time a hacker finds a loophole, the AI developers learn about it and fix it, making the AI smarter and safer. It's like a game of cat and mouse where the mouse keeps finding new ways to escape and the cat has to keep coming up with better ways to catch it. Part 2. Claude's new security features. Now, let's learn about Claude's special security feature called Constitutional AI. Imagine a rulebook that's not just any rulebook, but one that has really deep and important rules about being safe and good. Claude uses this rulebook, called a constitution, to make decisions. This helps Claude to be super smart about what it says and does, making sure it always follows the rules, even if someone tries to trick it. So, how does Anthropic make sure Claude is really good at following this rulebook? They use something called self-testing and adversarial training. Here's what that means. 1. Self-testing. Think of this like when you study for a test at school. Claude tests itself over and over with tough challenges to make sure it knows how to follow its rulebook really well. It's like doing practice exams before the big test day. 2. Adversarial training. This is a bit like playing a friendly game where your friend tries to find ways to beat you, and you learn how to get better so they can't win next time. For Claude, Anthropic has it play games against itself where one part tries to trick the other part. This helps Claude learn all the sneaky tricks someone might use and how to stop them. With these methods, Claude gets really good at spotting tricks and staying safe, so it's much harder for hackers to find a way to break its rules. Part 3. Hackers versus Claude. In this part, we're going to talk about how hackers try to beat Claude and what Claude does to stay strong. Claude isn't just any AI. It has something really cool called Constitutional AI. Think of it like Claude having a book of super important rules called a constitution that it never breaks, no matter what. These aren't just any rules. They're deep ethical rules that help Claude decide what's right and wrong. This makes it really tough for hackers to trick Claude into doing something it shouldn't. Now, how does Anthropic make sure that Claude really sticks to these rules? They use two main methods. This is like when you quiz yourself before a big exam. Claude does this too. It tests itself with many tricky challenges to make sure it understands its rulebook really well and can stick to it no matter what. Imagine playing chess against someone who's really good. They keep beating you, but you learn a lot from each game. That's what adversarial training is like for Claude. Anthropic sets up games where parts of Claude try to beat other parts. This teaches Claude to recognize tricks and defend against them, making it smarter each time. With these strategies, Claude becomes really good at knowing when someone is trying to trick it and stops hackers in their tracks. It's like having the best security guard who knows all the tricks thieves might try. Part 4. The future of AI jailbreaking. Let's imagine what the future might hold for AI jailbreaking. Hackers are always thinking up new ways to test AI systems like Claude. And as technology gets better, these hackers get smarter too. They might even use AI to fight AI. This means using one AI system to try and find weaknesses in another, like having two robots playing a game where one tries to find a way past the other's defenses. Another sneaky technique could be what's called data poisoning. This is a bit like tricking the AI by slowly changing the information it learns from, so it starts making mistakes without anyone noticing right away. It's like giving a chef bad recipes a little bit at a time. Eventually, the food starts tasting weird. As hackers invent new methods, the people who make AIs will have to keep updating their security, creating a never-ending game of cat and mouse. This means that the security for AI will keep getting stronger and smarter, just like the hackers. It's a constant race to see who can outsmart whom. The big question is, what does all this mean for us? Well, as AI becomes better at stopping hackers, it can make our online world safer and protect our information better. But it also means that these AIs might become too strict, sometimes even stopping people from doing normal, safe things because they're being overly cautious. So it's important to find a good balance where AI helps us without getting in the way too much. Part 5. Ethical and practical implications. Now, let's think about what happens when AIs like Claude get really good at keeping themselves safe. This part is about the big picture, the ethical and practical sides of having super secure AI. First, having strong AI security sounds great because it protects our information and makes sure AIs don't do anything bad. But there's a catch. If the security is too tight, it might stop the AI from sharing information that's actually okay and important. Imagine you have a really protective friend who won't let you talk to anyone else. It's safe, but it might feel too controlling, right? That's how it can be with too much AI security. It could block you from learning new things or asking certain questions just because it's trying to be super safe. That's why it's really important to find a good balance. We need AI to be secure so it doesn't make mistakes or allow hackers to cause problems. But at the same time, we want AI to be helpful and give us the information we need without being too strict. It's like having a good guard who knows when to be tough and when to let friendly visitors in. In the end, making sure AI is both safe and helpful is a big challenge. We need to think carefully about how we teach AI to act, making sure it doesn't go overboard with its rules. This way, AI can continue to be a great tool that helps us every day without getting in the way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about AI with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you won't miss our next video. See you soon!